en tant que gouverneur de mon mieux.
When Kathleen Babineaux Blanco took the oath of office in French to become Louisiana's governor in 2004, it marked more than a change in administration. She also changed history as the state's first female chief executive.
Today marks the first time that an honor such as this has been earned by a daughter, a wife, a mother, a grandmother.
The woman who had served 2 terms as the state's lieutenant governor, as a public service commissioner, and a state lawmaker, she was no stranger to politics. But Kathleen Blanco promised something new, including better business opportunities and improvements to schools and health care. There were high hopes on that cold January day, but no one could have predicted the storm 18 months later that would come to define her time in office, Hurricane Katrina.
The magnitude of the situation is untenable. It's just heartbreaking.
As the storm approached, Governor Blanco was praised for an evacuation effort that led 93% of the area's residents out of harm's way. But it didn't take long to hear the criticism of her performance in the days that followed. President George W. Bush, who was no stranger to criticism, later expressed frustration with her leadership, including her decision not to federalize the National Guard.
I did not need the federalization of the Guard because that would have taken police powers away from the National Guard, and goodness knows we needed that.
Blanco later said she felt the White House used her as a scapegoat and that politics played a role, with a Republican administration taking on a Democratic governor. For the rest of her time in office, she made it a priority to get billions of dollars for Louisiana in federal money for the recovery from not just Hurricane Katrina, but Hurricane Rita as well. She recalled the disparity in what Washington was promising Louisiana homeowners versus Mississippi.
You live in the wrong state. Same hurricane, wrong state? You're going to get twice as much in Mississippi? I don't think so.
Although $10 billion in federal recovery money eventually came to Louisiana, the delays were too much for many homeowners, and Blanco's Road Home program suffered tough criticism. Another big decision for her involved the Superdome. Governor Blanco had to convince the NFL, the Saints, and state and local leaders of the importance of repairing and renovating the dome. The price tag was huge, and the timing made it a tough sell.
I had to see a recovery of what it took to make New Orleans again. I made a tough decision, took a lot of criticism for it, got a lot of apologies after that first game.
Friends and colleagues said Blanco took her role in rebuilding after Katrina personally. To her, it was more than politics. It was about fighting for the people of her home state. Kathleen Blanco was born deep in the heart of Acadiana, the eldest of 7 children. In 1964, she graduated from USL and married Raymond Blanco, a football coach and teacher. She became a business teacher at Breaux Bridge High School, then worked as a stay-at-home mom for the couple's 6 children for almost 15 years. In 1980, the Blancos formed a political consulting and polling firm. Then in '83, she ran for the State House of Representatives and won. 5 years later, she became the first woman elected to the Public Service Commission, then was elected to 2 terms as lieutenant governor. She ran for governor in 2003 in a field of 18 candidates. She made the runoff against Bobby Jindal, and a pivotal moment came during a WWL TV debate when both candidates were asked to name their most defining moment.
The most defining moment in my life came when I lost a child.
Many political watchers felt her answer endeared her to voters, particularly women, and catapulted her to a win over Jindal in the runoff. 4 years later, exhausted by the intensive Katrina recovery efforts, Governor Blanco decided she would not seek a second term.
After much thought and prayer, I have decided that I will not seek re-election as your governor.
10 years after that, she was back in the news when she announced she was suffering from a rare type of liver cancer and asked for prayers.
I'm praying for a miracle. Don't know if it'll happen. But I have put my life in God's hands because I believe in God and I trust Him. And I hope that you do too.